Everyone, good evening and welcome to the Soul Food Book Club, where we come together and we talk about books that inspire us, books that feed our souls. And this is the last discussion on the current book that we have been talking about. The book is called Changes. Life Changes When You Do. And this is a book that came together about 6 years ago. Stories of inspiration, stories of hope, stories of just letting people know that you're not alone. And if you go through something, through a fire, a struggle, there is hope on the other side. Thank you to those who are here with us tonight. Linda Lemieux, thank you for being here. We have Charlie, Erica, and Christine.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
And our Grace Isis is with us.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, and if you're joining us virtually, thank you. Let us know that you're here. I see one person saying hello, but I don't know who you are.
Tammy's
it's
out there.
Stacy.
Tammy's out there too.
Is she? I don't see Tammy yet.
She said she'd be in the audience.
Andrea is here. Hello and welcome. And we have some more that may be popping in here any minute now. We're expecting some more. So tonight we are holding, like I said, our last discussion about changes. And I'd love to hear from you all how you were inspired, if there was something that really touched you from the book. And we will share my story if there's any questions or comments you want to make on that. Kathy says she's here but can't get into the Zoom. Kathy, I think, did I send the link to the book club messenger?
Jean too. Jean's having problems getting in.
Okay, let me see.
I got in on the 846-2411-5367.
Okay,
Right.
I just copied the link. I'll send it into the Facebook Messenger. And hopefully you all will be able to jump right in here, because I would love to hear from you tonight. There you go. So you should be able just to click that and be able to come in with us. It says I'm in another meeting. No, it's the only meeting that I'm in. And there's Jean. She's coming in now. So hopefully, Kathy, you'll be able to get in here as well. And Tammy's in the audience. Hello, Tammy.
I can't get.
And there's Kathy. Awesome. Thank you all for coming in tonight.
Hello. Oops, where'd you go?
Well, we're here. We don't see your face yet.
There we go. That's because I'm having troubles. Full screen.
Hi, Kathy.
Hi there, guys.
There we go.
That room looks familiar, Kathy.
I bet it does.
Hey, I got my blue dot back. Charlie,
Yes, you
you're
do.
supposed
It's
to
right on your
keep it.
face.
I guess Charlie
That's
was
tonight.
tired
I'm
of
wearing it tonight.
There. Okay,
Have to
see?
get a light on before it gets
Oh,
too dark.
it's on your nose, Jean.
I know. That's where it wants to be.
You look like Dan P and the Blue Nose Reindeer.
What happened? I couldn't get on.
I don't know.
The dot
Oh.
went away.
I even got out the paper with all
Aw,
the addresses on it.
it's okay. It's all good. You didn't miss
All good.
anything.
We're
We're
all
just
here now.
starting.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm
who?
in my PJs. I'm ready for bed.
There you go. Are you feeling better, Kathy?
I'm better. My foot is less swollen today. I was able to get my shoe on at least. So I made it to work. And it was a
Awesome.
long day.
Aw,
I didn't get home
We're
till
here now.
6:30, so I'm tired.
I'm glad you're here with us. And Hope is on with us in the audience. She's up late again tonight. And she said her internet is not happy, so she's not going to try to come into the Zoom. I'm so glad you're here with us, Hope. Thank you for being here.
Hi, Grace.
Okay, so anything that you all want to share about the book? Would anyone like to speak or ask a question, or what would you like to discuss tonight?
Well, since we're at the end of the book, I like I don't know what you call it. It's a chapter after the different authors, and it says, "Take back your power."
Yeah.
And it's very encouraging because it's, you don't have to stay where you are. You don't have to be stuck, and you don't have to be a victim. And I went through that this last year, and I still saw myself as a victim. So I kept getting the same feelings. So I had to change, like you said, before everything else changed. So it's true. And I just want to say, don't forget to read that part, because to me, that's the whole kernel of the book, the whole nut of the book, the core. So I just wanted to throw that in since we're at the end of the book.
Thank you, Linda. And so true. And like I said in the very beginning of the book, we didn't share our stories to, to go into victim. Sunny's moving my table, if you're wondering what I'm laughing at. I'm like, why am I moving? The beginning, it was stated that we don't share our stories so that people will say, oh my gosh, you've had such a hard life, or I'm so sorry. We don't share it for that at all. We share it for inspiration so that you can see those things that we went through. Those were real. They happened, and they were not fun to go through. But on the other side of all of that, you can look back with that 2020 vision, and you can see the perfection. You can see how the angels stepped in, how spirit was guiding in every instance. Even when it was some of the darkest times of my life, I knew inside, instinctively, I knew that those angels hadn't deserted me. It was me that had turned away, that had gone down a road that just took me to a bad place. So we share them for hope and inspiration. And thank you, Linda, for bringing that up, because it needed to have that at the ending so that we can look at that as yes, we all go through stuff. And we can all be inspired by each other's stuff and know that we can come through it, no matter how bad or how gloomy it looks at any point in time. Okay, I want to welcome Suzanne. Hi, Suzanne. You got some happy campers here tonight. They received a package from you, and they're so happy. And Andrea is here. And also Stacy says, this book helped me see that I am not alone, that I am not the only one who has had to rise up through a tough life to get to where I am now and where I am going. I could relate to each story, and it was very inspiring. Thank you, Stacy. Yeah, I think that's the thing, is that we can be inspired by others. And then when we reach something like that, or we resonate with something that we went through, it's like, oh, I wasn't the only one that happened to, or that went through something like that. And okay, so now I'm confused. Andrea, you're on as EWN? I don't know who's who in the park anymore. We have so many people that come on as EWN. I get totally thrown back by who's who.
How do they do that?
I don't know. I don't know how that works. My sister is here. Hello, my darling Sheila.
Oh, Sheila. Hi, Sheila.
There's a different name.
Sheila's my baby sister.
Aw.
She's the one, you all read the story. She was the seventh girl, and that made girls rule in our family because we had 7 girls and 6 boys. So we were all betting when my mom was pregnant with her. We were taking bets about what it would be so that we could have that number that would put us over, and we could say girls rule. And of course it was a girl.
Of course.
Girls rule, boys drool. Yes, that's what we would always say. And Stacy, I think it might be you that's doing EWN. She said she tried to use her own name, but it won't let her. And yes, Sheila was lucky 13. Okay, anybody else have anything? Linda, thank you for your comments. And
You're welcome.
I love that. It's going to be a short night. Everybody's quiet.
It seems that like in all the stories, there was like a situation or a turning point where the person decided that they weren't going to take it anymore, or or something in their life that shifted where it, where they moved on or where they seen the light. Like,
Charlie's muted.
yeah, I know we get.
He's having to use my microphone.
Oh, all right. Got it.
Okay.
No, I was saying that, it seems like in all the stories, there was a turning point where person like seen the light came in and the light went on and they realized that it wasn't working the way it was supposed to, like in each of all the stories, and something had to change, and the name of the book is so appropriate. Life changes when you do, and it's so true. And I want to thank Teri for writing this book, and everyone else that shared their stories with us.
Yeah, I think one of the common themes as you read each one's story was there was that moment. It was like a light bulb goes on and you just say, hey, wait, what am I doing here? And sometimes I felt like, oh my gosh, here I am in this circle again, that vicious circle, and you end up right at that same spot. And I was at a point in 2012 and 2013 where I said, this has got to end. I can't keep doing this. I can't keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result. That's the definition of insanity, and so that's when I knew that I had to do that purging. I wrote about it in the story, that year-long, just getting rid of things, just going in and cleaning house and saying, nope, it's got to end. That's got to stop. There's got to be a way to move forward, and it's not going to be the same old like it has been. So it is a point that you reach. It's a point when it can't just be this way. There's got to be more. And I kept thinking, there's got to be more out there than this. There's got to be more to living in this existence than just going through these roads that lead to nowhere. And you end up back at the same spot, asking the same questions. And it was when I really just hit that pause button and said, okay, I'm done. I'm just done. And it's interesting, this wasn't in the book, but there was a song out at that time that the song says, I'm done. And I just kind of would listen to that song, and it was like something was clicking. I'm done. I'm done being depressed and sad and angry and hurt. And I started just slowly taking my life back. And that's what we do when we reach that point of knowing that we're not willing to go forward anymore the way things were, that there is hope out there. And that's the whole thing about this book. It was published so there could be hope, so others could look at it and see that you don't have to stay stuck. And many people think there's no way out. Nothing's ever going to change. And as a life coach, I hear that a lot from people. Will it ever change? You know, why isn't it changing? And that's when it's always reflected back. You're the common ingredient. You're the one that needs to make the change and make the decision to do something different. I want to read some of the comments in the audience, and then if anyone has comments online, I will welcome them, or in the Zoom, I mean. Suzanne says, the book is helping me literally go through it. Thanks to all the authors for being such an inspiration, and thank you, Teri, for publishing it. You're so welcome. And Hope says, guys, you know what Forrest Gump said? We are just like peas in a pod. And we are. And welcome to Sheila. Sheila, I'm so glad you're here with us tonight. And Tammy said, I could relate a lot to Teri's story and saw my daughter in hers also. It helps remind me that things improve, to change my attitude and not stay stuck. Yeah, it's a conscious decision that's made. It really is. And once you make it, it's kind of scary. It's scary to take that first step forward, but it's also empowering the more you stand up for yourself and the more that you know you're not alone and you can do it. And what's beautiful right now is this family that's come together, this angelic river family that's been created, and all of us hold each other up. There's not one person who has to go through anything alone. You really don't. We've got so much support in this family, and I see many of you bonding with others and coming together to help encourage and support each other. And I'm so glad that's happening. It's just a delight to me as the Mama P to watch all of you just really come into who you are and have that support with each other. I'm so glad that that's one of the things that's happening in this group.
I wanted, can I add something?
Yeah, I just wanted to put it out there. Whoever wants to speak.
I felt like I made progress, and I have. But the other day, I had something happen, and it hit all the old triggers, and I felt like I was trudging through mud. And I just shook my head and said, no, not today. No, thank you, not today. I'm just not going to participate. So it was like, I even back in the mud, I realized I still had a choice. So I didn't completely get over it right away, but I wasn't going to let it take me down, I guess. So keep the book handy, and you can always read the ending or read a chapter or something if you get back in the doldrums, you know. That's all.
And that's huge because we're works in progress. You know, even when we've worked through a problem, there's things that are going to trigger and things that are going to come up. So we put all of those tools in our toolbox, the things that we learn and the things that we see other people use, and then we can draw on that.
Somebody said that the other day, but I don't know who to give credit to, but on one of our shows, somebody said, no, thank you, not today. It may have been Karen, I don't know, but I just wanted to mention it.
It was kind of painful for me to read the book. I mean, quite a bit painful. I'm not sorry I read it, and it's been inspirational to me. But I don't know whether it's empathy or I don't know what it is, because I've lived through a lot of it. I could relate with a lot of it. But when I relate, I go through it again. And so that's, you know, I did find it kind of painful to read through it. and very much inspired by the people and how they changed. And, you know, I guess it's got me wondering if I thought I had changed as much as I thought I had changed. Anyway, you know, it was interesting to read. Yeah, but hurtful. I got to be honest. It was. Yeah.
Maybe you're looking at it with more loving eyes and a clearer vision and recognizing it, setting it aside to look at it. But you're so caring, I could see why it would do that.
Well, it did. In fact, the last story I was reading, whew, you know, and I just wish I could give him a big hug. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what I mean. I just, you know, I don't like, well, I know what I went through, and I just don't want anybody to ever have to go through those things. And I'm a little bit, what can you say? You know, there was one story, and I don't know which one it is, but there was one story that they assume or they feel like they have had to do something for something they did in one of their previous lives. They had to make amends, you know, because of something they did in their previous life. And so that kind of, you know, I'm like, I wonder what I did in my previous life that I had to go through what I went through. So anyway, I really do love the book. I appreciate those who put their story out there. I know how scary that would be, you know. So, but it was painful for me. I just thought I'd make that.
Yeah, I understand what you mean, Jean. I used to be able to watch gory movies and it didn't bother me a whole lot. But after I opened up more to love and light and the empathetic side of me, I can't watch anything like that now because I feel what that person feels. And I think that's what you were doing when you read those stories. You were feeling the energy of the emotions. Yeah, it's okay. It's all good. Thank you for your comments.
I have a comment, please. I want to thank everybody who's on tonight. And thank you, Teri, for putting together this book. And thank you for all those who participated with their stories. They dared to be vulnerable and to bring it forth, which was part of their healing process. My question is, and thank you, Teri, because you did the same. And also for all those who are reading, it's part of the healing, and perhaps maybe you, okay, my question is there ever, when we're here on this journey, we're here to learn about ourselves. And I believe as we are evolving, we can understand that there were certain contracts we had with ourselves in the past, and we have to iron them out here on this journey, in this time, in this 3D. I'm saying this because my question is there ever a time, do we ever get to the point where we say, thank you for my life. Thank you for that journey. Thank you for all those aspects, good, bad, ugly, because I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be where I am right now. And I say this because I have a friend who's a shaman. And as she was growing up, she was very rebellious, you know, she was kind of one of those young girls who are a druggie, has tattoos all over herself. You would not believe that she is so spiritual and so awake, that she's a shaman. And she said, you know, she's come to the point, she's about 45. She says, I've embraced my life. I've embraced not being loved by my family. They don't even talk to me now. I've embraced all that because if I hadn't gone through those events, I would not have had my two daughters. I would not have evolved and been open and being prepared for where I am now. Can you elaborate on that? I mean, is that, it's hard, it's difficult, but do we ever get to that nirvana?
Oh, Gracie, thank you for that question. Yes. It took me a long, long time to embrace my life, to embrace all that I went through, every experience. And when I found Lisa Nichols, and I give her praise and I give her the honor and the accolades, because she was the one that I opened up with. She was the one that said, we need all of our experiences to bring us to the place we are right now. We can't go back and change anything. And even if we could, we shouldn't, because that was part of what makes us who we are. So every day I give thanks for who I am. I give thanks for every experience I've had, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I know that things happened that were the result of decisions I made that were not in accordance to who I am as a spirit. They were just, I was in a bad place when I made those choices. But with what I learned every step of the way, I now have more empathy, I have more understanding, I have more knowledge and more wisdom, and definitely more love and acceptance of others who may be where I was, or who may be taking that wrong turn and making choices that's taking them down a path that's harmful to themselves or to others. So yes, we do get there. I don't know that every person gets there. It's a work in progress, but with the grace of God and with looking at forgiveness, and that was the main thing I had to go through in that year that I talked about, where I was purging. For a full year, I had to go through forgiveness for everything in my life, not necessarily people, but for everything that happened that I had made a decision and I was part of. So once we do that forgiveness work, then we can go forward. And it's not that we're going to forget any of it. That's not what it's all about. It's about clearing the energy where we were in that bad place and we were being held down by our own self. We were our own prisoner and I didn't even do the word, the one that was holding us down. We were all of it. We were the one holding us down and we were the one being held down. So when we do the forgiveness, it frees it up and we can then go forward into gratitude. But yes, I'm grateful for everything I've experienced in life. And we can get to that place, Gracie.
And to know that you're strong, that there's really nothing that will decimate you unless you let it.
Right.
I think that's, thank you so much, Teri. Thank you.
Yeah, it's our personal power. We have to take it back. Nobody can give it to us. Nobody can do it for us. But there can be those people in our life that are the impetus, like Lisa was for me. When I heard her words and I really fully listened to what she was saying, it was like, oh, there was that glimmer of hope. And sometimes that's all it takes. It just takes that seeing somebody else going through something or saying something that clicks inside of you. And then there you go. You know, you're on your way then to really dig through and work through whatever it was that was holding you back.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for this little side book that we should keep next to our bedside to help us. Thank you.
You're so welcome. I just want to share what my sister said. I don't know if she's still with us or not, but she said, thank you. Just so you know, you are an inspiration to many people. What you have overcome and how you have persevered. I am very blessed to have you as my sister.
Oh,
That means a lot. That means
That's
a lot.
wonderful.
And Tammy said, I beat myself up for years over what someone else did. I took it as my own. I actually even began to hate myself and got in a very dark place. I slowly got past that, and reading your story reminded me how strong I really am and what I got through.
Oh, great.
Thank you, Tammy. And welcome, Luz. Thank you for being with us.
Hi, Luz.
Hi, Luz.
Hi, Luz.
Yeah, we have some beautiful comments from our audience. I want to hear from anyone else that wants to speak. Just go ahead and unmute if you'd like to say anything.
I want to thank you, Teri, and thank everyone for sharing their stories. It's however crappy it sounds, it's good to hear that or to know that I'm not alone, that a lot of people have been through struggles and that the struggle, just continues. It's how we look at it. And it's really, inspired me and given me hope and faith and courage to change. Thank you.
Thank you for your words. And yeah, the struggle is real.
It is.
We can't just say everything is peaches and cream because we're human and we're going to go through those times. We're going to go through darkness. But there's hope, there is light, and that's what we have to hold on to. And Suzanne says, if we wouldn't go through all these hardships, how could we relate and help others?
I just want to say just what your sister said, that we're so blessed, all of us, to have you.
Thank you.
And to have you in our living room. Just saying, guys.
Yes, indeed. I am right here in their living room.
Yeah.
Right beside of me. I just wanted to see if I had missed anybody. Hope says, I don't think or believe any of us want credit, but love the gratitude and love the energy. I've been through it and I won't allow any of you to go through this. And so it is.
So it is.
Thank you, Hope, for being here, honey. So much love to you. Oh, Lou said she saw the book when she was in Casadega. I have Stacy to thank for introducing the book to Casadega bookstore and for introducing Time Heals in there. Okay, and I think that's Stacy that says, I look back on some choices and I want to crawl in a hole, even though it's been 25 plus years and I have shown I am not that person any longer. I feel guilt and shame. That's what I had to go through and release, Stacy. And I explained that in the chapter where I talked about every night going into meditation and allowing myself to look at what happened, look at the experience, and then let it go and no longer feel that intense shame and the guilt of it. We can get beyond it. We can. I have, and you can too. And it's a matter of just trusting and believing that it's possible to go get through to the other side. And you don't live there anymore. You don't live in that same space. You've changed, you've grown, and you have more wisdom now, and you have more understanding of yourself now as spirit. And that's what you have to hold on to. Hold on to that and work through it. You've got this, and you've got support for doing it. When I did it, I was all alone. I knew, though, that I had to make that change. I had to. There was nothing else for me at that point. It was my rock bottom. And I don't want anybody to feel like you have to wait till that rock bottom to start to look upward. If you identify something in your life that you're not happy with, something that doesn't bring you joy, look at that and say, okay, what can I do to change this? And that change happens on the inside.
I'm so glad you said that, because there was one story where they said, where he said, I think it was a he, that you have to totally crash and be in the ashes before you can rise up like the phoenix. And I feel like you all have had so much more of that than I ever had. Even though I went through things, I never had that crash to where I felt like I was totally hitting bottom and coming out of the ashes. So I'm glad you said that, because I think you can, hit yourself earlier than totally crashing, and realize that you have to make a change. I think.
Yes, I agree with you, Jean. For some, it's that trial and error, like, okay, maybe I won't have the same result this time. But for the most part, those who are going through that struggle, they know that it's not going to end well, and you can stop it at any point. That's what I'm trying to say. At any point, you can pull on your support systems, and you can pull on your wisdom and your knowledge, and you can pull yourself up. You don't have to be totally losing everything in your life and being at that point of no return. It can happen whenever you're ready for it to happen. And when you ask for the angels to intervene and to help, it'll happen. It'll be right there for you.
I wanted to say to Stacy, and piggyback on what you said, that I had a lot of guilt when I kind of realized the whole situation, and that I actually was part of the situation. I wasn't just the victim. And with guilt, you want to go back and change what happened. But with guilt, you did the best you could on that day with the information you had at the time. And so you've grown, you've changed. So yes, you would go back and change it. But if you hadn't gone through it, you wouldn't be the new person. You wouldn't have made the changes. So it's good to go back and look at, but try to drop the guilt, because it's a measure of how much you've grown. So I would like to take the fault out of it. It's yes, you did it, or yes, I did it. But I wouldn't do it now, and I can't change it. So to try to look at how far you've come from that particular time.
Thank you, Linda. And Stacy said, perhaps a changes number 2 is in the works with our stories. This book was great. It helped a lot. Yeah, I think we've already mentioned that, Stacy, that it's right after I published Changes, so many people were sending me messages and talking to me about the book and how it had helped them, and that they had stories they wanted to share as well. So I do believe there will be a Changes 2, and we'll start that process ASAP. And Jean Hope says she has missed you so much, and how you have grown and no longer in the shell. We're all so proud. We're so proud of our Auntie Jean.
Oh, God. Thank you. I love you all so much. You all have given all of us a freedom. This family has given all of us a freedom that we know we can reveal our hearts or whatever, and no one is going to criticize us or find fault with us, So, I just wish everybody had a place, a family, a group that they could go to and feel that way. You know, if everybody did, there we'd have the peace on earth complete.
Mhm.
You know, that's what we need. So,
Yeah. I so agree, Jean. I say that all the time. I wish everybody in the world could feel what we feel as a family toward each other.
mhm.
It says, Auntie is wiser than she knows.
Yeah.
Probably. Oh,
Okay,
I'd like
any
to write
other?
a book about all of you is what I would like. How precious you
I would
all are.
love that.
You all are going to be in my book whenever I eventually write it.
See, we have a writer in our midst.
We do.
I've been writing.
No.
I haven't stopped writing since the pandemic began, because this is living through a pandemic. And we're still living through it.
Yeah.
We are.
It's like a never ending thing now. And wow, it's given me a lot of material, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But we're all involved in it because it's more of a personal journey through it too. My journey.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be anywhere if it wasn't for this group.
Thank you.
I'd just be going to work and doing my thing. This group has done so much for me
Mm.
and my family.
Thank you, Kathy.
Definitely has made me a better person. I really, truly believe that.
Thank you, Kathy. And it was such an honor to be in your family and to meet them and to get a real hug and real love in the surrounding. Thank you. And I know you do journal every day and read. And thank you for being here as much as you can with us in the group.
Thank you. It's an honor.
Well, I am very honored that we read this book and all these inspiring stories, and so grateful to the ones that came in that wrote their stories and shared with you all what it meant to write the story. For me, it was scary to share it. I didn't know how I would be judged or what others would think. And every time I would argue with my angels, I can't say that. I can't tell that. They were like, it's going in the book. So when we do a changes too, and you all are sharing your stories, just remember that the angels will help you. They'll give you the strength to share in a raw and real way, because that's what's needed. You never know what's going to touch somebody's heart. You never know if it's that story that you've never shared before, that somebody else has been through that same experience and can use that for inspiration and hope. So I want to just really thank you and tell you how blessed I am to know all of you and to be able to share this with you. Thank you so much. I love you, each and every one of you. And we're going to end this at this time because we have another show coming up in 10 minutes, our Chanting for Change. Anyone that wants to jump in and be with us with that, thank you. We appreciate you so much. And we will end our show with
Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
We love